The Manuscript of Survival, Part 389. January 20, 2014. We would like to delve a little bit into a subject we have discussed earlier, as this is something that perhaps has been overshadowed a little bit by recent internal upheavals, if you will. And what we are talking about is the subject of creation and the role that you all play in it. If you cast your mind back to the messages we delivered on this topic a while back, you will remember that we went to rather great lengths to reveal the nuts and bolts of it, if you will. In other words, we discussed the basic principles, which are indeed extremely simple, but which raises some rather complex questions within you all. And this is indeed what we would like to return to, for what is standing between you and this basic and all-pervading process of creation, is your endless quest for answers. And so, you tend to make extremely complicated what is in fact extremely simple, and as usual, what stands between you and your own greatness, is that small but still rather formidable obstacle of the human mind, or rather, the human way to perceive things. You see, you have a propensity to complicate whatever it is you connect with, because you do have a hard time erasing your memory base in such a way, it leaves you unfettered to make any new and groundbreaking insights. And what do we mean by that? Why, simply the fact that you have an inherent mechanism that colors whatever it is you encounter with the same base layer of energetic frequency that you used to vibrate at, and as such, even if all of the fundamentals change, you will still look at it with the same eyes. And so, thinking out of the box, as you like to call it, takes an almost superhuman effort at times. And now, as you will be required to not just think out of the box, but leave the same box altogether, you will find yourself struggling in so many ways. For what you need to do, is actually to erase what has been, and find a way to trust that when you do this, you as an entity will not be removed in the same instance. Rather, it is only by erasing the remnants of all that you have been that you can become new again. And new is what you need to become, in order to truly access that deep well of knowledge that will help you to become the creator you are meant to be. You see, the old basic building blocks that make you a human was actually altered in such a way, it will hinder you in said quest of attaining that freedom you so long for, and as such, you will need to leave everything behind that you have taken to be you in a human form. We hasten to add that this does not mean extinction of the you that has always been hidden within that human form, and it is not a process that will entail physical death in any way. Rather, this is a process that seeks to truly liberate you from all of the old and inhibiting patterns that still rule the minds of so many. For as you have already discovered yourself, breaking free of this mold is not something that is easily accomplished, and that is not a surprise to anyone, not to anyone on our side of the veil either. For we know fully well what that old programming has done to your spirits, and as such, we also know that you need assistance if you are to become those free spirits yet again. For you must uncreate yourself in order to recreate not only you, but also everything else that you are to be the creators of. And as such, you can in many ways be likened to that old concept of Shiva, the destructor and the creator, in one and the same physical manifestation. So too will you discreate the old in order to emerge renewed from the old rubble, just like the phoenix we have talked about earlier. We know that this will sound overly dramatic to some, and it is dramatic, for it entails dismantling all of the old scaffolding that has been erected around your core in order to make you into that old version of a human. For all of this old scaffolding has hidden the real you, and so, it needs to be removed completely for you to stand there out in the open, unfettered by anything standing in your way. But the process for removing all of these old obstacles need not be dramatic at all, for what it truly entails, is for you to see the full extent of them, so you can understand what it is that needs to be removed. This may sound complicated, but it need not be so, for all it takes from you, is a complete lack of self-illusion. You see, being human is in many ways adhering to a very set pattern, and now you need to lay all of that aside for you to step into your true role as creator. So learning to truly create means learning to uncreate at first, and the processes are indeed two sides of the same coin. Remember, everything is energy, and what is manifest, no matter if it is a stone or a flower, a chair or a human being, is simply the result of consciousness interacting with energy. You are already doing this 24/7, but you are simply not yet aware of this. For what you see on all sides, is there because you created it. Because you are a creator, but so far, you have yet to be a conscious creator, and as such, that is what needs to be fully awakened within you. And in order to do so, you need to sit up and take notice. For it takes a lot of effort for a human to understand that what we need you to understand, is that this process in itself is effortless. This again will sound like another one of our riddles, but what we are trying to make you understand is this. You can step into this process of becoming a conscious creator literally in the blink of an eye, for all you have to do, is to stop doing what you have been doing, seemingly forever. And that is to use all of your effort to try to keep up the illusion you are currently being suspended within. For that is just an illusion, co-created by you and your fellow men, and you have agreed to uphold that illusion at any cost. And so, you are siphoning off almost all of your energy daily in order to keep up this old and outworn illusion. So no wonder you all feel exhausted. But the moment you withdraw your energy from recreating this same illusion over and over again, you will also reclaim all of your own energy, and you will erase all of those old patterns of illusion, and begin anew. And so, you will simply become a creator from free will, not one that is a part of a superimposed plan, wherein each and every member of the human race have played their unwitting part. Remember, there are no longer anyone sitting in a dark corner somewhere, pulling your strings, forcing you to be a part of this old illusion. Their powers no longer have anything to say over you, and so, you are indeed free to withdraw yourself from this old staged battle and start to unroll your version of the world. The version that is steeped in light, not in darkness, and where love reigns supreme, not the fear that have kept you all tagging behind those leading you off in the wrong direction. And so we say, you must remember who you truly are, for you are creator gods in every sense of the word, but you must also remember that you are still very much feeding the flames of that old fire that has burned away so much of the inherent powers of humanity. You need to withdraw yourself from this, the old play acting, and step into your own powers in a way that will enable you to literally begin anew with a blank slate. And you are the only one who can do that, for there is no power in all of creation that can force you to relinquish the hold on the old, nor are there any power anywhere in creation that can force you to stick to it. The only one that can decide whether you choose to engage your true powers as a creator, is you and only you. So again we say, the choice is yours, and we are well aware that the mere thought of this responsibility will make your mind balk. For it will seem to be a burden of immense proportion, but it is not. It is simply a freedom of immense proportion, but we are also aware that the weight of total freedom is too much to bear. This is not said as any form of criticism, rather, it is to remind you that we are fully aware of the task that you have taken upon you, and we are here to support you every step of the way. We do not think any of you as not sufficiently strong enough to fulfill the task of reclaiming your own freedom, but we will not think badly of you if you choose to forego the chance this time around. For the choice is yours, and yours only, and we will honor your choice, no matter what you choose. But we would also like to add, that we see so many of you already hovering at the brink of jumping into that total freedom of becoming your own true creator once again. For you have been there before, many, many times, but you have not yet been able to savor the feeling of being a true creator God whilst within a human body. And that, dear ones, is an opportunity many, many would wish for. But you are the ones who have been chosen to be given the chance to experience it, and we do hope that you will jump at the chance to do so. And remember, you cannot go wrong here, for even if dismantling the old illusion you carry within may sound like the death knell to all that you are, it is actually the signal to become reborn with all of true you still present, and while still ensconced within that same physical body. For this is not about self-destruction, this is simply about removing the obstacles that have been put upon you, and that you have unwittingly played a big part in upholding. For if you do not choose consciously to let them go, you will still let them carry you with them, so you become ruled by them instead of you becoming free to rule yourself. So again we say, do not let go of the real you, and give yourself time to step back and take a good look at everything you see all around you. It may seem to be solid, unwavering and impossible to escape, but it is no more permanent than a wisp of smoke. And by a wave of your hand, it will dissipate forever, and you will see through the old illusion, and you will enter that wide open space where your world, the world of your dreams, is waiting for you to make it emerge in all of its glory. The Constant Companions. Channeled by Asia North. asianorth.wordpress.com